You can also get something and you can use it to paddle the clay. Anything that's flat will work for this. So if you take the pot, again, you have counter pressure, and you just gently paddle it, you can start evening out the shape. And it doesn't just have to be a straight up cylinder. You can bow the bottom in by paddling along the bottom so that it narrows along there. You can paddle it into a square or a triangle or a hexagon or whatever the heck shape you want. You can also take it on the table and like pound it and then twist it and pound it. I'm not going to do it because it'll mess up the video, but it's the same thing that you can do with paddling. So you just paddle a lot harder on 4 sides, and it's going to force that shape into a square. Then, when you're smoothing out your piece, and when you're cutting off the top of your piece, get some kind of knife, hold the top of the piece so it doesn't bend on you, and you're going to cut at a 45-degree angle and slice that top off. But if you don't hold the pot, then you run the risk of it distorting and not cutting off as evenly. Then, when you're ready to smooth your pot, a knife is your best friend. There's 2 different ways to smooth. You can go at a perpendicular angle so that it's at a right degree. You want to do it when it's a little bit drier, more towards the leather hard stage. But if you scrape at a perpendicular, it's going to scrape off clay. It doesn't work now because mine is too wet. But even when it's a little bit more wet, you can do it parallel. So if you do it parallel and you sweep along it, it will help smooth out the walls really beautifully. If you sweep towards the corners, it's also going to force some of that clay into the corner so that when you're left, after doing that for quite a while, can you see all that clay that I've put in the corner? That's going to become a really nice crisp corner, and you're going to get really nice flat sides with crisp corners. So those are the basics of doing a pinch pot. Then I want you to do some kind of a design on it, and a design is anything that makes a mark. You can use anything in your house to do this. The key is repetition. If you repeat it, it looks so much cooler than doing it just once. So whatever it is, if you do it over and over and over and over, it becomes a pattern instead of just a solitary moment of a shape. You can do it where you're more precise and you're doing things super evenly. This is not super precise, but it's going to create an overall pattern that looks a lot more interesting than just having done this in like one line. So you can see already that it just looks better than having only done it once. So that's the basics of the pinch pot.